Hi, I'm Hillary, and this is Sunday Morning Live with John M. And now our host, John M.
I'm going to start off this morning with a cover tune. I don't too often do that, but good morning and welcome to all of you. This is going to be a kind of a topical show this morning, but before I introduce my guest, James Lee Stanley, which I'm very excited about, I just, what with everything that's been going on the past week or so, I could not do this show without doing this song by one of my favorite songwriters, Steve Earle. So here goes nothing. About the time my daddy left to fight the big war, I saw my first pistol in a general store. I was 13, I thought it was the finest thing I ever had seen. So I asked if I could have one someday when I grew up. My mama dropped a dozen eggs, really blew up. She really blew up. I didn't understand. Mama said the pistol is the devil's right hand. The devil's right hand. The devil's right hand. Mama said the pistol is the devil's right hand. The very first pistol was a cap and ball Colt. Shoots fast as lightning, but she loads it mighty slow. Loads it mighty slow. I soon found out, get you into trouble, but it can't get you out. So then I went and got myself a Colt 45. Called a peacemaker, but I never knew why. I never knew why. I didn't understand. Mama said the pistol is the devil's right hand. The devil's right hand. The devil's right hand. Mama said the pistol is the devil's right hand. The devil's right hand. The devil's right hand. Mama said the pistol is the devil's right hand. I got into a card game in a Cumberland town. Caught a body cheating, shot the dog down, shot the dog down. I watched the man fall, never touched his host and never had a chance to draw. My trial was in the morning and they drugged me out of bed. Asked me how I pleaded, not guilty, I said, not guilty, I said. Got the wrong man, nothing touched the trigger but the devil's right hand. The devil's right hand, the devil's right hand. Nothing touched the trigger but the devil's right hand. The devil's right hand, the devil's right hand. Mama said the pistol is the devil's right hand. Ooh, my mama said the pistol is the devil's right hand. Yeah, Steve Earle. So here we are, another Sunday morning, and I'm very excited to introduce my special guest this morning, James Lee Stanley, who I've been looking forward to having on here for quite a while. James has a long and almost unbelievable history in the music business. James, I have 6 albums. I have made and recorded and produced 6 albums. James has 32.
My wife calls it a triumph. She calls it a triumph of hope over feedback.
I'm very impressed, and the new CD, which I'm not sure. You said it's done. Is it available? If people
No. It won't be available until a couple of months.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be called Without Susie, because there's nobody named Susie on the album, so it was obvious that was the choice to make.
Boy, man, now I see how you came up with so many records. I can do a whole bunch of without Mary, without Jane, without
exactly. But then you have to write the tunes. So. Yeah. So that's what I've been doing. I wasn't intending to make another album, but but I kept writing and recording, and all of a sudden I thought, I have, and I just put them all together on a disc to listen to it driving down here, and thought, well, it hangs together. So.
That's great.
You did a cover song. Well, let me do a cover song.
Sure.
Also about this great country of ours. Many's the time I've been mistaken, many times confused. Yes, I've often felt forsaken, and certainly misused. But I'm all right, I'm just weary to my bones. Still, you can't expect to be bright and bon vivant with a con man on the throne. There's a con man on the throne. I don't know a soul who's not been battered. Don't have a friend who feels at ease. Don't know a dream that's not been shattered, driven to its knees. But I'm all right. We lived so well, so long. Still, when I think of the road we're traveling on, I wonder what's gone wrong. I can't help it. I wonder what's gone wrong. I was dying. I dreamed that my soul rose unexpectedly, looking back down at me, smiled reassuringly. And I dreamed I was flying, and high up above my eyes could clearly see the Statue of Liberty sailing away to sea. And I found I was crying. We come on the ship they call the Mayflower. Come on the ship we sail the moon. Come in the age's most uncertain hour and sing an American tune. But I'm all right. We can't be forever blessed. Still, tomorrow's gonna be another working day. We can only do our best. I wonder, have we really done our best?
Yeah.
Paul Simon.
Beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful.
He wrote that after Watergate, 1972. He wrote that. It's really tragic that it's even more applicable now.
Yes. Well, while we're on that subject,
Really, while we're depressing the world, we're selling razor blades and nooses for people who want to hang themselves. Okay?
well, I know that you, anybody who follows you on Facebook or has come to any of your shows knows that, you're not, you do lots of other stuff besides political stuff.
Yeah,
and
lots.
you do funny stuff, and you do, relationship songs, and like the rest of us, all kinds of stuff. But you are known to be fairly outspoken politically.
I didn't know that I was, but I think you're right.
And,
when I started doing it, it just seemed like... I think that artists, people that create are tuned to the vibe of the world. We're trying to create stuff and we respond to it. And I think we're like canaries in the coal mine. And we notice when things are turning to shit long before somebody who's not an artist notices it. I really think that we just...
Do you think that's really it? Or do you think we just... do you think artists articulate it and express it better?
I think they notice it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think a lot of people don't notice it. You know, I mean, I have friends and relatives who think things are fine, and you know, I keep pointing out to them, well, I mean, read a little history and you'll see that we are on a precipice here. We're at a tipping point, and we can go one way or the other. And if you know, there's a power structure in place that is only interested in maintaining the power structure in place. They're not interested in our well-being. Mm-hmm. You know, Oxford University. You've heard of Oxford in England. You know that until a little while ago, it was always free. Mm. If you could qualify, if you had the brains and the commitment, you could go to Oxford for free. You know, and in this country, you not only end up owing hundreds of thousands of dollars when you go to college, but they charge you 18% interest on it. It's profoundly evil, and we should do something else. Otherwise, I'll never stop this unless we go someplace else.
Well, the thing I wanted to ask you was, do you find, are you ever conflicted about it as an entertainer? I mean, there must be people who say to you from time to time, you know, just sing the songs, man. Shut up about this other stuff.
I've had them say that, and I always tell them that they're welcome to have their money back and leave. Mm-hmm. But as an artist, I've always followed my muse, and right now, I mean, it's just hard to sit in a building that's on fire and pretend it's not.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing that kind of scares me. I don't know that there's. It doesn't seem to me like people in society in general aren't noticing what's happening, but they're in denial about it. Oh, it's not that bad. All politicians lie. You know, it's not that big a deal.
It's really not the same. We've never had anything like this. I don't know how old you are, but I can guarantee you that if a man like the Drumpf ran for president in 1968,
oh yeah,
no one would have been behind him. Not one person. And the fact that the Republican Party got behind him and supported him. First, they condemned him, but when they realized that he was winning, winning the Republican primary, they went, okay, let's get behind a totally unqualified, dishonorable son of a bitch because he might win. You know, I mean, what happened to your oath to the Constitution and your responsibility to your constituents? And you know, we've got an oligarchy, and Citizens United is the first place we have to go. We have to stop allowing so much dark money to go into politics. You know, we just have to.
Well, we should move on, and I'm gonna do a song that ties into some of this stuff in a few minutes. But
and I'm gonna do something fun after that. Damn it!
Yes.
I'm gonna tickle you.
But I do have to say that you know, I admire the fact that you. I think it's brave, you know, because you do risk alienating some people and losing some fans.
I've lost a lot. I mean, I have 5,000 friends on Facebook. Hey, thanks if you're out there. And I also have like another 1,938 additional subscribers to my pontification and complaints, you know. And but it's been as high as 1948. I can't seem to get past that because I'll say something, I'll lose 10 people. But I thought, you know, I'm losing people that are not enrolled, and what we need are people that are enrolled.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because there's a responsibility to being a citizen in a democratic republic like this. We used to have civics classes, and they actually laid out your responsibilities, but they got rid of those.
And I believe that I think it's just like with any other songs, any songwriter. I hear all the time that you know, songwriters, you know, people say, oh, you know, I've always felt that way, but you've said it better than I could say it, you know. Well, and that's true of songs in general. Yeah. You know, love songs or any kind of songs, and I think that's true of political songs and politically conscious songs as well. I think that sure there are going to be some people who disagree with you and get angry and so forth, but I think there's also going to be people who go, yes, this guy gets it. He feels like I do.
There's also the fact that many of my very best friends are diametrically opposed to me politically.
Right, same here.
But
Yep.
we talk. You know,
Yeah.
we don't condemn each other. We don't belittle each other. Although sometimes I go, you can't be serious, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I still love them, and they have a right to their opinion, you know.
Absolutely.
And I want everybody to vote. I don't care whether you're voting against what I believe in. I actually believe that if everybody votes, goodness is going to win. But the fact of the matter is, we only had 40% of the voters in the last election, and the man in the White House didn't win even the majority of those. So I mean, he's got less than 1/5 of the country that voted for him. Let's not call that a mandate, you know?
Right.
So now
Yeah.
tickle me, John.
Okay, give us another song.
Oh, I thought you were playing.
So,
one. Okay.
No.
Okay, you caught me unawares. I thought.
So I can play one, but
Yeah,
I'd rather
you play
have
one. Okay, I'll play one. Okay, this is. Oh, I know what I'll play. Well, this is a political song. Rats, but it's not a bad one.
Well, that's what I would have done.
Okay. This is actually inspired by lobbyists. There's gypsies in the hallway with their potions and their spells. They're waiting there in silence, but I hear their tiny bells. They're waiting without knocking, but I can feel them there. No secret safe outside your door. Open if you dare. Open if you dare. Open if you dare. No secret safe outside your door. Open if you dare. There's gypsies in the hallway, gypsies on the stairs. They never stop their whispers, their violins in the air. The melodies are haunting, confuse your secret fears. You think you lost a moment, but really it's been years. Listen if you dare. Listen if you dare. Time is like quicksilver. Listen if you dare. Listen if you dare. Yesterday is what it is, an eve of joy and sorrow. Today is really all you have. Oh, today is really all you have. No guarantees of tomorrow. Gypsies in the hallway, gypsies on the stairs. They say they play for free, but I warn you, have a care. No one plays for free. No one plays for free. Somewhere there's a bloody bill. No one plays for free. No one plays for free. No one plays for free.
Yeah. Very nice, James.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is that on the new record?
No, that's on the. That's on the Apocalypse. The Apocalyptimist, I mean. The Apocalyptimist is the name of my wife. I made an album called Backstage at the Resurrection, and my wife said, "You're going to alienate every Christian on the planet." And I said, "It's my resurrection, not there." But in any event, then she says, "Now you're making an album called The Apocalyptimist that no one can say. What are you trying to do?"
I love it. We should mention you are performing
that's right.
live on stage tonight at Coffee Gallery Backstage.
No political stuff, just fluff. Come on down and laugh your ass off.
So, and you're playing solo tonight. I know sometimes you play with the band.
Yeah, usually. I do have a trio. You know, Chad Watson and Scott Reddick, great bass player and percussionist.
He's wonderful.
Yeah, but I'm doing this one all solo, just because I now live in Tehachapi and there's no way to get down here and rehearse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So unless I can come down early and work with them, although I made an album where there was no rehearsals with a percussionist in Philadelphia, Chad on bass, and Cheryl Prasker on percussion. She's great. And we played, and I said, "Here's the deal: no charts, no rehearsals. We're just going to go in the studio, and we're going to play, and we're going to see what happens. Like people make jazz albums." And then I invited an audience to come in and see it, and I charged them, and then I gave that money to the studio for the record. So the people that came in paid for the session.
Cool.
Do you hear that?
Yeah, it's the coffee machine.
Okay. I was afraid I was having one of those acid flashbacks you read about. My God.
So tonight at Coffee Gallery, 7 o'clock.
p.m., yeah. Altadena. It's on Lake.
Yeah, you'll put a link on later.
I'll put a link
comments.
on later. Okay.
So yeah, I'm going to try to be there for that.
Oh, good.
I'm looking forward to
I'd
it.
love it if you came, John.
And you are. We should mention you are endorsed by Elixir Strings,
Taylor Guitars,
and
there's another
K&K pickups.
K&K pickups. They're great pickups. I like them a lot. I've got them in my Martin, and I just put them in my 41 Gibson and in my David Russell Young.
Wow.
So I like them a lot. I think it's the finest pickup. I mean, I love the expression system in this Taylor. I'm very happy with it. And this is my go-to road guitar. But in the studio, I do use... I use all the guitars in the studio because I want different sounds. If you use the same guitars on everything, then you get a homogeneity a sonic homogeneity that I think isn't as joyous as the interplay of different
You
instruments.
want a bouquet.
Exactly, because every instrument, just like every voice, brings its own resonance and its own overtone series to the party. You know.
Yep.
So I want different sounds to.
I want to. Time is getting a little short, but before I play my next song, I do want to ask you, because you have been doing this a long time.
You noticed.
And you're one of the few, who survived this long and gets to still do it and make money at it. And stuff.
Without a hit. Actually, I've had some hits, but not not monster hits.
Well, but you're still, an awful lot of people give up and quit and stuff.
I was planning to give up shortly after death.
Right. Well, I'm curious as to your perceptions on how the music industry has changed over the years and how it compares now as to say back, when you had your record deals and
well, there was the good thing about when the record labels were in charge was that they were a filtering system. So you tried your very best to get them to believe that you had something to bring to the party, and that caused you to keep working on it, and by the time you got to do your first album, you'd recorded God knows how many demos that had been rejected, and people tell you why now there's no, and you learn from all that stuff, and then when you finally get a record deal and you put a record out, you've gone through an apprenticeship. Now, with no record labels that really exist except. They're not even interested in signing you unless you can sell 10 million records, So,
right.
So people have, thanks to the internet, people can get their stuff out there, and thanks to computers, they can all record. I've got a more sophisticated recording studio in my home than the Beatles made Sgt. Pepper.
I know.
Isn't
that amazing?
It's unbelievable. Yeah. But the point is, there's no filtering system, and what's happened is that just making an album. It's not a big deal. They have devalued the currency by virtue of the fact that everybody can make an album. So everybody has an album, and so what? And then how does a radio station that gets 10,000 CDs a week figure out where the good stuff is? So
right.
that's the discouraging part. And then with Spotify and Pandora and stuff paying their own executives hundreds of thousands of dollars and paying the musicians whom they call content providers, nothing in comparison. It's very difficult for musicians to make a living. What Charles Ives' father did when he recognized that Charles Ives was an American composer in the last century, and his father recognized his musical ability, and he gave him lessons, and he made him play like 2 different songs at once on the piano, and then he told him that he shouldn't depend upon the vagaries of the American public to make a living for his music, because then you'll have to cater to them. So Charles Ives became an insurance magnate. He's the one that started selling life insurance policies to people during the Depression for like 25 cents a month, but he sold a bazillion of them because they could afford that, and they would have insurance. Anyhow, he made all his money there, and he still made his music. But now he was so rich, he hired the Boston Symphony to come out to his farm and play something he'd written, So what you have to do now, if you want to do music, is you're going to have to commit some real serious daily time to your music, and you may have to commit some other serious time to sustaining yourself, because it's not easy to sustain yourself as a musician these days. For one thing, there's always a musician. Somebody said, why don't they all unionize? And I said, because there's always some musician that says, I'll do it.
Right.
And I realize it's going to cost me, instead of me paying you $500.
Well, there actually
the musician's going to pay you.
There is
the pay to
actually
play
one.
in Los Angeles. Pay to play. I've never done it. I go, no.
Yeah.
No.
And I don't know if you agree with this or not, but I find the with the growth and the advancements over the years of technology, a lot of which is designed to make everything easier. The getting a drum track now is easier and so forth. And as you say, the Beatles made their records their early records on essentially a TAC 4 track, and now we have Pro Tools where you have hundreds of tracks, and you have all these sophisticated microphones and compressors and filtering systems and sound modeling things and auto-tune and on and on and on and on. But what happens to the quality of the music? It's, in my opinion, most of it, there still is some good music out there, but an awful lot of it just seems to be plummeting.
There's a learning curve. Now there's all these other things, and once people learn to use it, once everybody can use those things, then the quality will rise again. Right now, everybody's more involved in. Well, actually, that's not true. There's some fabulous writers. They're not being supported by what's left of the music industry. They're not being supported by radio. I mean, some DJ said, there's no protest songs anymore. And I said, no, actually, Bob, there's a ton of protest songs. It's just that you guys aren't playing them.
Yeah.
We've been complaining for years, and you're not playing them.
Well, speaking of protest songs,
yes, are you
and speaking of fine songwriters who are not supported by the music industry. How's that for a segue, folks?
Okay.
I'm gonna do another song here. This is one of my newer songs, and it just seemed like an appropriate song to do this morning, so I'm gonna do it. Let's try that again, shall we? What has become of my country, where Lady Liberty said, bring all your poor huddled masses unto me. Lately that's not the America I see. What has become of my country? What if Abraham Lincoln came back today, or Kennedy, or Dr. King? Can you imagine the messages they would bring? Would they say, don't build a wall, Mr. President, let freedom ring? Have we elected a president or a king? What has become of my country? My country, tears of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Man, where our leader lies, shakes hands with Russian spies, breaks deals with allies, and the world is watching what has become of my country. I can hardly believe what I see. An unqualified man can be president if he's been on TV. For God's sake, Madam Justice, won't you take off your blindfold and see what has become of my country?
Well, you certainly tune in for a cheerful Sunday morning. Let's hear it for God. He couldn't show up this weekend, but he means well. I wrote a tune after the last election, and I've been rewriting it, as things move along. But this is pretty new. This is on the new record.
Oh, great.
Oh, let's do that again. I don't like this. Come on in. I'm glad you're back again. So where have you been? Where's that grin that we used to know? See you're sad. Feel you've been had again by a world that's gone mad. It's not just your heart that's aching. What we've held so dear may all just disappear, swept away by fear into valleys of shadow. It's been a while, and it's not your style. Too many miles and too many more to go. You may feel lost on a coin that's tossed away. Feel double-crossed if that's the view that you take. Tell me, what do we win if we give up giving? We gotta let some sunshine in to the valleys of shadow. Don't forget, it's not over yet, you know. Tomorrow's a bet, it's a chance for the taking. One we can win, we will begin again. A shining new day where the morning is waiting, and the skies are clear. The clouds have disappeared, and there'll be no more fear of the valleys of shadow. We're not alone, we're not alone, you know. We're not alone, we're not alone, you know.
Beautiful guitar work on that.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I like to write songs where the words could be poetry by themselves, and the melody could be by itself, and the guitar accompanied could just be a guitar piece by itself. That's what I always shoot for. But
I think you got it on that one. That's
thank you.
Very nice.
Thank you.
We're running a little long, so I'm gonna ask you one quick question, and then we'll finish off with a song together.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So we talked before about that. You know, this is what you do, music, and it's all you've been doing for a long time, and you have no desire to do anything else, etc., etc. If you had, this is a question from the old Actors Studio TV show, the James Lipton, right?
Okay, yeah.
If you had to do something other than music or the arts, what would your second choice be as a vocation?
A teacher.
Yeah. That's perfect for you. You'd be great at it.
Yeah, well, it's the most. I mean, teachers and farmers.
I imagine you've done some of that.
Yeah, I have actually. Teaching and farming, the two most important gigs in the world. You know, they should be paid more money than anybody else, because the teachers, you know, if we don't educate people, they'll eat us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, but of course, if they eat us, they don't eat farmers. So you can see how it folds in on itself.
Well, James, thank you for doing this with me this morning. It's been a blast.
You can edit it. You can tighten up all the disparaging remarks and depression.
Yeah, we'll probably leave them all in. But
you might want to mention your gig one more time.
Yes, I was just going to.
Tonight I'll be at the Coffee Gallery in Altadena at 7 p.m. Backstage at the Coffee Gallery, Bob Stanley's joint.
Yep. He's going to put the address in the comments.
Yeah, it's 2029 North Lake, but it's an exit off the freeway, off the 210. Just go up the hill from Lake, and just drive up there forever, and then it's on your left.
Cool.
Great. So
what are we doing?
We're going to do. Well, I actually have a song that is both political and optimistic.
Take a whack at it.
Borderline happy.
Okay.
And hopefully you'll make it sound better than I do. So this is one I haven't played here in a while. It's on my album M6, and thank you for joining us. I know there must be a bunch of people that I haven't said hi to.
Tons of people. Lots of hearts, lots of thumbs up.
Great. Well, thank you all. Thank you for watching. As I always say, thank you for liking. And most especially, thank you for sharing. Those of you who are so inclined, if you feel like sharing this episode, we most appreciate it. And here we go with my song, I Believe in America. It ain't all bad news. We stand for freedom of speech. We stand for freedom of choice. One united nation, not always one unified voice. We're strong in the face of danger, compassionate to those in need. We are brothers and sisters of every race, color, and creed. And I believe in America. I believe in America, yeah, yeah. And I believe that America I believe in the land of the free. I believe in the home of the brave. I believe in the dream that our forefathers took to their graves. But I do not believe in war, and I do not believe in preemptive strikes. She is always my country, even though she is not always right. And I believe in America. I believe in America. Yes, I do. And I believe that America will be what she can be again. 'Cause we don't leave the poor, the sick and the hungry to fight for the wealthy man's crumbs. That's not who we were, and that's not who we are. And I pray it's not what we become. Oh, I believe in America. I believe in America. And I believe that America will be what she can be again. Yeah, I believe in America. I believe in America. And I believe that America will be what she can be again. If together we make America be what she can be again. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Tremolo.
Well, there you go. It's another Sunday Morning Live. My thanks once more to my special guest, James Lee
Thank you,
Stanley,
John. Thanks for having
who
me,
will
man.
be at the Coffee Gallery backstage tonight.
Yeah, JamesLeeStanley.com, by the way.
Oh, yes, thank you,
And
JamesLeeStanley.com.
my email, if you want to complain, is james@JamesLeeStanley.com.
Or even if you don't want to complain.
Yeah, just
It's
come and
still
say
your
hi. Just don't leave
So-
a mess, okay?
So thanks one and all for joining us. We did run a little long this morning, but we had fun. Come back and join us again next week for Sunday Morning Live at 10 o'clock. Hillary, you haven't gotten to say much this morning. You want to say stuff?
Yeah, thanks everybody for coming. Thanks, James Lee Stanley. It's been so much
Pleasure.
fun. And have a great week, everybody. We'll
See
see
you
you
later.
next week.